Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to your latest edition of some Impact Wrestling on TEW2020. You join us today on the road to lockdown, and our final taping here today will hopefully put a good percentage of that calendar in motion. Some stuff subject to change, because a lot can happen in 3 weeks when some of your wrestlers are on handshake deals, could get injured elsewhere. So without further ado, let's do it. Let's crack on to this week's episode of Impact Wrestling. So you'll probably notice I've went brave this week. Even the last couple of shows, no Kurt Angle. You know, the matchmaker has not been giving me that cheeky boost. So yeah, putting the faith in our talent. 634 fans in attendance for these tapings, so still a long way away from the 1,000 I'd like to get before we go to weekly. But we'll monitor that as things go on. We start the show with Ace Austin and his Madman in his corner, Madman Fulton, against the world champion, and the other man they've had issues with as well, of course, the form of Matt Cardona and Sami Callihan. It's basically hyping up what happened last week, you know, the 2-on-2 beatdown, and as we prepare for tonight's main event, which will be Austin and Fulton versus Callihan and Cardona. 65 as these four exchange verbals. Madman Fulton performing poorly, the rest doing well. Opening contest of many contests this evening was a decent matchup as Bushi defeated Brian Pillman Jr. in 8:29 with the MX. A 41 here, again just introducing Bushi to the American audience and giving him some victories over some guys that will certainly boost them up in terms of popularity. So a 41, a nice opening matchup on Impact. Moving along, and this one is very ironic because at the time of recording, Rachel Ellering has just debuted for Impact Wrestling, or rejoined. I don't know how many times she's been there before, but she's formed a partnership with Jordan Grace, and I've been intrigued to see how that goes along. Probably will have had a good few weeks, maybe even months by the time this is live. Unfortunately, Rachel Ellering's contract does expire in 2 days' time, but we will possibly look at renegotiating that. Of course, she's got that kind of wee tandem with Chris Hero, relationship in real life and in game, and of course a small connection here. But Rachel was kind of a short-term deal. I wasn't too convinced, but it could maybe down the line see a partnership forming between Jordan and Rachel in game. But the crowd anyway was decent. Gave a decent reaction. Subpar wrestling as Jordan Grace defeats Rachel Ellering in 10:48 with the fall from Grace. 42 rated performance here. Again, continuing to build the momentum of Jordan Grace. More knockouts action next, and of course hyping up that rematch. One of the matches that will be in the Steel Cell lockdown will be the Tag Team Championships, Rosemary and Sue Young versus Kimberly and Diona Purrazzo, and it was Rosemary defeating Kimberly here in 7-11 with a roll up catching her off guard, giving the tag champs a bit more momentum heading into that rematch. That was a 41. And knockouts action continues as we have some tag team action. A decent matchup, the team of Taya Valkyrie and Tenille Dashwood defeat Team C-Stars in 7:31 when Tenille pinned Ashley Vox with the Roaring Elbow. A 46 here. You can see actually some very good performances here. Just Delme a little bit weaker compared to the rest, but a good victory for Taya and Tenille as they want that one opportunity again to go for the Knockouts Championship. Which leads to Thunder Rosa coming out, and she says she's still pissed off at that beatdown from a few weeks ago. She spoke to Kurt Angle about it. The match is official inside the Steel Cell. Thunder Rosa versus Tenille versus Taya for the Knockouts Championship. It may put the odds against Thunder Rosa, but the way she's looked at it is she gets her hands on both women, and it's every woman for themselves. So good luck, Taya and Tenille, trying to connect and make sure who gets the victory. This leads to a bit of tension between Taya and Tenille. Who will be the woman that will stand tall? So friction between Taya and Tenille as that triple threat match for the Knockouts Championship is official for lockdown. We then had Moose defeat Cody Deaner in 7:17 with a game breaker. 50 rated performance for this match. Pretty happy with that one. Just again giving Moose some momentum, because he's the man who has accepted the challenge put forward by Eddie Edwards. He says he wants to get back in that winning column and cement himself in that championship picture. He was unlucky at King of the Mountain matchup, but one-on-one with the champ, he's going to do it, and he's going to first off put Eddie Edwards in his place. 52. This led to a matchup then between Enzo and Kaz and Reno Scum, and with about that had a decent reaction from the crowd and subpar wrestling as Enzo and Kaz pick up the win in 9:55 when Big Kaz pinned Adam Fornstow with a bada boom shakalaka. It's an interesting one. 42, as I say, just a matchup here again. You'll notice a lot of their impacts is just building everyone up with the best momentum possible before their matchups pay off at the pay-per-view. But Enzo and Kaz pick up the win ahead of their match with FTR. We speak a few words about it. They just say, yeah, FTR, dangerous tag team, beat us before. We've been in this business a long time, we've had ups and downs, and it's time for me and Big Kaz to take them on and take those championships back to New York. So 56, the promo here from Enzo and Big Kaz. Now also within the cage, with a decent matchup here is Chris Sabin defeated Willie Mack in 10:21 with the Cradle Shock, a 52. Some good performances there, the 51 and 50. We're building up Chris Sabin again as he just shows a bit more of a ruthless streak in his victory. We then get a training montage from Alex Shelley, just showing him rehabbing a few things, but he turns around to the screen and basically says, Chris, you didn't take me out, it was just a short-term knock, but I've been signed off, ready to fight, and I'll fight you within the lockdown structure, within the steel cell. Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin is happening. So 47, Alex Shelley gives us that as he continues to show the good fighting condition he's now in. Leads us to our main event. Mark Cardona cuts a promo hyping the situation with Ace Austin. Just says him and Sami have got eye here. They're going to take the two of them out tonight and he's going to defend this championship. Is it this Friday? I can't remember. I do my pay-per-view. I think it is on a Friday. 3 weeks away, of course, but he's got to pretend that he's taping this in the 4th week of August, but he's ready to take out Ace Austin and remain champion. He's always ready, and it was about that had great wrestling, good heat, as Sami Callihan and Matt Cardona stand tall with victory over Ace Austin and Madman Fulton in 14-12 when Sami pinned Fulton with the curb stomp. Fulton was a weak link here, struggling to keep up with everyone else's in-ring performances, but a 60 matchup here and the champion winning over the challenger leads us into a very interesting finish on the road to lockdown. 55 overall rating, we'll need to show increase their popularity in 34 regions. We might start bringing in Kurt Angle again just to make sure we get the stateside overness again, because if we don't, we could be lingering here for a while, and we want to obviously progress the company globally. And obviously Canada and America are the main two countries at the moment, because that's the one that will get us the bigger TV deal here. So just while we've got a screen up, I just want to confirm a few matches you're definitely going to see from bottom to top, because some of them are just promos. So you're definitely going to see inside the steel cell Matt Cardona, Ace Austin, Impact World Championship. A singles matchup, we're going to see Sami Callihan, Madman Fulton. Inside the lockdown structure, you're going to see Chris Sabin versus Alex Shelley. Inside the lockdown structure, you're going to see Enzo and Big Kaz take on FTR for the Tag Team Championships. You're going to see a singles matchup between Moose and Eddie Edwards. You're going to see inside the steel cell, Thunder Rosa versus Taya Valkyrie versus Tenille Dashwood for the Knockouts Championship. And you're going to see, possibly in the structure, I've not confirmed yet, but Rosemary and Su Yung defending the Knockouts Tag Team Championships against Kimberly and Deonna Purrazzo. And there's probably other matches in the top of my head that I've completely forgot trying to run that card there. The joys of booking every taping on the one day and then having pretty much 4 weeks before we get to that event, and praying that nobody gets hurt. And of course, you never know, and that's the thing in these as well, like somebody could come up in a deal that we could seek to sign. I just find it interesting here that I believe in this mod. Every AEW contract that comes up, they obviously sign an exclusive written, but in the save I've been doing, they started with the WrestleMania data for this for the Real World Chronicles mod, but when they re-sign every AEW star, they go to a handshake deal, so it was easier to recruit them. If only that was the case here, but looking forward to that one. We'll see who we can get in, because I say we've got plenty of people, including, there's some good news, Jeff Hardy is in at Impact Wrestling on a handshake deal. WWE are letting him go, so he's going to be a free agent, and yeah, that's why he'll be here in 5 days. So there's a spoiler, who's popping up at the pay-per-view. So looking forward to that one. Jeff should give us some mega star power, but as I say, free agent, happy to sign the handshake deal. But I'd actually say relatively realistic as well, so delighted with Jeff popping up. Brian Pillman Jr. extends his deal with MLW. Kurt Angle says that Kimberly's a natural talker. We had a 0.18 TV deal, so that's not ideal, but Jeff should start to help us going forward. And Phoenix is a grueling schedule. Of course, he'll have our 4 tapings, he'll have stuff with AAA, he'll have stuff with AEW. There's AAA's with it. Aye, so he's going to have a lot of shows. And just to compound it, if it loads, well, there you go. So we've done this save the first week of August. That's all his matches so far. So he's already had 76 matches, 74 matches, maths, and 7 could have started in December. So yeah, he's been busy. So we don't get to use him for another 3 weeks, so that's fine, but we'll give Phoenix something to do hopefully at the event. So that's us. We are on the road to the event. You can see there Rachel Erling is leaving, obviously bringing in Jeff and Crazy Mary. We will be losing broadcast deals with 5 Star. I don't think they want to negotiate with us, or they're just tiny. I think we're actually going to look at getting bigger deals in some places, but yeah, we're pretty much tied to this Access deal just now, which is not ideal for obviously getting a lot of people to view because of the coverage is only very small. But we'll see what we can pop up. I might just wait till those deals expire. When does it say they expire? End of the month. So by the time we get to the following month, I could look at them and see who pops up to try and expand our situation. But we're still not making enough to make us sustainable. We're going to hopefully surpass 1 million after the pay-per-view after the end of the month. But yeah, let's just keep getting this size, which is at 48 at the moment, up to 59. So cheers for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in a few days' time for I was going to say TNA Lockdown, Impact Lockdown. Take it easy, bye bye.